Thanks very much. Both Bernie and Sherrod are great progressive leaders on healthcare and so many other issues. Let me just add, with my finance committee hat on the other committee that worked on healthcare, and let me just say that while I also share the frustration at not looking at a single payer system, which I support, or being able to include a public option up to this point, regardless of the fact that Senator Reid had that in his bill, and it was in the bill that came out of the Health Committee. I share the concerns and also the view of Senator Sanders and Senator Brown that this is an ever-changing and improving process on healthcare as with everything else, whether it's civil rights or whether it's anything else we've worked on. And one of the things that gave me hope as well was to go back and look at the debate on Medicare back in 1963, 64, 65, and to see, first of all, the exact same argument, sometimes exact same words, that somehow passing Medicare, the private sector was going to be destroyed, the world was coming to an end, I mean, et cetera, et cetera. And to see what happened when we put Medicare in place. And at the time it was put in place, I don't know if this has already been mentioned, but it didn't cover people with disabilities. That was done later. It was a very modest framework. It didn't cover Part C. It didn't cover prescription drugs, even though we would have all done that differently. The point is, it was improved upon, as was Social Security. The most important thing, in my judgment, about this is to get in place two basic principles. One, that everybody in America has a right to health care and be able to find affordable insurance. Fundamental principle. And the second fundamental principle is that we are going to put in place efforts to change the cost system in this country. When insurance companies had 425% profit in the last 8 years, not counting what they're doing now. And wages in my state went up 5% at the same time. It's outrageous, and that has to be changed. So I wanted to just run through, and we want to ask questions. We do have a chart. I don't know if you can see this one or not, but you know, every single day, 14,000 people lose their insurance. That means 14,000 people got up this morning with health care, go to bed without it. Most of them because they also lost their job. And we have 5,000 people every day that lose their home because of a medical bankruptcy. And most of them have insurance. So I won't go through all of the rest of it, but the point is, doing nothing does not make sense. So we're about getting the best we can get. Ed, did you have?
Senator,
yes.
Thanks for having this, because it's very seldom do all of us, I guess you could say, in the flock get together. And I would like to air what my team thinks is a concern about the messaging. I said this to Senator Brown a few moments ago before the meeting started. I think Senator Brown, I think Senator Wyden, I think yourself, I think Bernie Sanders have done a tremendous job of being out in front of the public and being accessible to the progressive media. But if I'm wrong, somebody in this room needs to step up and say, Ed, you're wrong. But where's the leadership talking to the American people? I can't get Harry Reid. I can't get Chuck Schumer. I can't get Prescott. I can't get Jay Rockefeller. If I'm wrong, tell me. Is anybody, I mean, you know, when the conservatives want to do something, they go to the firewall. They get on Fox and they get on every talk show they can. They can't get on enough, and they say the same thing. And you folks have been carrying the water. I mean, and I know that you've got schedules and you've got things you've got to do, and you can't live for the media and whatnot. But if we really are in the stretch drive to affect 30 million Americans. I mean, last Sunday on the Talking Heads, there was Lindsey Graham beat the tar out of it. There was Orrin Hatch beat the tar out of it. There was Tom DeLay. Tom DeLay. But he's beat the tar out of it. And I believe that there was, who's out the Democrats? I mean, I would like to see the Democrats have more of an aggressive nature when it comes to leadership to talk to the American people. And I think that the leadership and the seat, where's John Kerry? John, there's two people in this country over the last 5 years that have been more places in America. And that's Barack Obama and John Kerry. John Kerry knows about health care, but he's not talking to the American people. And I get red-faced, my blood pressure goes up. We have a chance to do this. But all of a sudden, silence is deafening from the senior-most Democrats that, I remember being in this room back in 2002 when we were, okay, how do we fight back against these folks? Well, you know what? The very same people are here today. God bless you. But Kerry needs to come out and put the hammer down and sell the House members on the air. You got to take this deal. Because there's a lack of trust between the House and the Senate right now. If they take the Senate deal in the House, and you heard Senator Schumer back me up on this, and because this is what I'm hearing from the House members, they don't trust the Senate that you're really going to do reconciliation and that it will legally stand up. So,
well, and let me say, I appreciate very much your frustration.
We need Senator Schumer.
I very much appreciate your frustration. Let me also say, though, when our message, let me just push back a little bit on this. When our message is we got to get this done, then we need to know you're going to be out there when folks are going on the air saying we got to get this done and not beating up our members because...
We've been doing that for a year. We're getting a little fed up, frankly.
Well...
On all of issues, not just health care. I'm serious, I'm sorry, but John, I wrote from America blog. You cannot sit here like Senator Schumer did today, like I heard from the White House last week. Excuse me, I just I was at a meeting with Chris Hayes and a number of other bloggers at the White House, and it was explained to us, Chris in particular, how he hasn't done enough to defend this administration on the stimulus, who's on Rachel Maddow every freaking night defending people more than any of us do. And now to be told that we're not defending you enough?
No,
we're finally got at the end of our rope of defending you at this point. And it may not matter in 8 months.
Okay. There's frustration on both sides of this. No, let me just 1 second, then I'll talk. There's frustration on both sides of this because I mean you're talking to 3 people here that you know are willing to do whatever we need to do here, and will continue to do that. I also know, and I will just say this, even though I love each and every one of you, and I spend a great deal of my life trying to make sure there are more of you. That we also, not only do we struggle among ourselves because we have broad differences, but we're